On Eyewitness today, tourism takes center stage as over 1 billion tourists the world over seek for choice destinations. Now, even with the Yankari and Sumu Wildlife Park in Bauchi waiting to be explored, Nigeria is not one of the top 10 tourist-ready countries in Africa. Now, this is according to a World Economic Forum report. The fate of residents of Michika, Madagali and environs in Adamawa State appears to hang in the balance as flood wreaks havoc on the connecting bridge. Similar fate befalls two bridges in Niger State. Sit back for details. I am Chris Elams. With a sprawling 2,244 square kilometers, 50 species of mammals, 17 species of reptiles, the Yankari Game Reserve presents a world set to be explored in addition to the Sumu Wildlife Park, which parades about 6 species of exotic herbivores. Yet, Nigeria is not one of the top 10 tourism-ready economies in Africa. Now, why is this so? We present you our experience in Bauchi State, Northeast Nigeria. Welcome. Bauchi State, Northeast Nigeria was created in 1976 with a landmass of approximately 46,000 square kilometers. It is the only state in the north that spans two vegetation zones, Sudan and Sahel Savannah. Bauchi State is a heterogeneous society with 55 tribal groups, with a strong dominance by the Hausas and Fulanese, who largely engage in agriculture, growing crops such as rice, maize, groundnut, millet, and also tending to livestock. Bauchi is known as the home of peace, tourism, and hospitality, owing to its huge tourism potential, which include the resting place of the country's first Prime Minister, Alhaji Tafawa Balewa, the nation's foremost reserve, the Yankari, as well as the Sumu Wildlife Park. The Yankari Game Reserve is located about 110 kilometers from the state capital, and it occupies a sprawling 2,244 square kilometers made up of thick forest vegetation, 50 mammal species which include lion, elephant, baboon, warthog, 17 various species of reptiles, and over 300 birds. The crystal clear Wiki Warm Spring, which maintains a constant temperature all year round, is another attraction at the Game Reserve. In an attempt to properly place it as a major tourist destination, the government has made some investment to make it quite conducive, but not much appears to be returning to the purse of the state. This, according to the sole administrator of the reserves, Engineer Habu Mamar, they are hopeful will be tackled.
Initially, yes, Yankari was the premier thing in everybody's mind. But after this insurgency, we have some, we are not touched by the brunt of the insurgency. But at least being in the northeast, the perception is that the place is not safe. So there was a lot of problem to bring people back to Yankari. But with the inception of this administration, the first event that the administration did was to bring the governors' meeting, the progressive governors' meeting to Yankari. And that was the beginning of the rejuvenation of the Yankari. Yankari is a gold mine for the whole country if it is properly packaged. Recently, I hosted the Nigerian Institute of Architects. They came here with some guests from Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa. Some of these guests even own resorts, similar resorts in their own countries, like the one in Uganda. He owns resorts. But when they came to Yankari, they said ours is a natural endowment, theirs are artificial. So what we need to do is just to do some little touches and then marketing.
One major challenge of reserves such as this worldwide is the activities of poachers who kill these animals for various reasons, including food, hides and skins, horn, and lots more. The Yankari Game Reserve has had a fair share of this challenge.
Because of the seriousness of the poaching, we had to go into a a memorandum of understanding with WCS. WCS is is a Wildlife Conservation Society of New York. So we have a memorandum of understanding with them. They are in Yankari permanently, and they train our rangers and do all the controls. They bring all the equipments, all the cameras they put in the bush, all the walkie-talkies and all this. And so we improve the relationship between us and them with this administration. So things are getting much better. In fact, they are trying to fly in a conservation plane, which is now in Garwa in Cameroon. And they will station permanently in Yankari to watch over poaching and other things. They kill the ones they sell as bushmeat, and in fact, if they find elephants, they kill elephants. And that is the worst of it. Because there was a time that 2 elephants were collared. One was being collared is you put satellite collars in them. So from your office, you can know exactly where they are in the bush. One of them was killed. The other one, the collar expired, so we didn't know how. For the last 5 years, there was no single elephant that came to the camp. When I mean the camp, not the bush, the camp where the resort is. But last month, twice they came to the camp, and it means things have improved. The poaching, anti-poaching activities are now better off because some of our guards now have guns before, though it's not a sophisticated gun, but at least we have this pump action.
While the Yankari is a natural reserve, the sole administrator introduces us to the Sumu Wildlife Park.
It was actually created in 2006 by the former Ahmed Muazu regime. It is sort of artificial, but we have about 82 square kilometers of land, although now we only fenced 12 square kilometers, but we have the potential of fencing about 14 square kilometers with the materials on ground. But though it is artificial, but when you go, you may not even know that there is a fence there, and you are sure of seeing the animals. And the type of animals we have in Sumu are the type of animals that we don't have in Yankari. While Yankari they live in the wild, we don't feed them. In Sumu, we feed them and then do some medication to them.